Oh, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Mirari, and I am so grateful to be here guiding you today at Mystic Fitness. We are streaming live every day at 9 a.m. I'm going to be guiding you today through a Baptiste-inspired yoga flow. And Debamitra is here with us, modeling and showing. So, first of all, happy Father's Day to everyone out there. I hope you have a wonderful day. It's beautiful out. And a reminder that we are, again, streaming live every day, 9 a.m. through Facebook, Instagram. If you can't make it at 9 a.m., those classes are recorded and archived, and they are also available through Mystic Fitness YouTube channel. If it's available for you, we would love some donations through Venmo. Um, we are also sending masks to your address. Mary Beth makes wonderful cloth masks. So if it's available to you, donations through Venmo. So let's get ready this morning. Gather your things, some water, blocks, and have a wonderful practice. Let's get started today in child's pose. So knees wide, toes touching or at least close together. And if feels good on your shoulders, extend your arms to the top of the mat. Take a few breaths in and out. Ground down on your mat and become aware of how your body feels this morning. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take your hands to the right of the mat and pull your lower back towards your feet, to the back of the room. Bring your arms back to center. Now take them over to the left. Come back to center. One more big breath in and a breath out. Slowly make your way to a tabletop position. Here we do some cat-cows. So slowly arch your back as you look up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Curl your back and take your gaze to your belly. Do a few of these at your own pace. You can curl your toes in the back or just leave the tops of your feet pressing lightly on the mat. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, body. Come back to a flat back. And slowly, let's come into downward facing dog. So let's make an inverted V with our bodies and explore the space on your mat. So walk your hands to the top of the mat, the feet to the back. See how it feels to take more space than you usually take on your mat. And pedal your feet. Explore downward facing dog. Then maybe shorten your stance. Find some comfort in downward facing dog, as we are going to be lots of these this morning. Plant your palms and spread your fingers and your toes across the mat. Now find some steadiness. Keep your neck smooth. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Walk to the top of your mat. Bow forward. Flat back. Bow forward. Sweep your arms up to the ceiling. Look up. Breathe in. Bring your hands to heart center. We start our practice with one big Om. Let's take a cleansing breath in and out. One breath in for Om. Sweep your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Bow forward. Flat back. High plank. So we're going to do also lots of high planks. You can do these with knees up, as Debamitra is doing, or down. We come to a low plank or cobra. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Walk to the front of your mat. Flat back. Bow forward. Sweep your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Bow forward. Flat back. High plank. Knees up or down. Low plank. Keep your elbows close to your body. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. How about now? Can you hear me better? Great. We all meet in downward facing dog. Thank you, Amy. Breathe in. Breathe out. Walk to the top of your mat. Halfway up. Bow forward. Chair pose. You can do it with your feet together or slightly separated. Create some space between your shoulders and your ears. You can keep your hands at heart center or strain your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Bring your hips a little lower. Bow forward. Flat back. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Walk to the front of your mat. Flat back. Bow forward. Sweep your arms up to the ceiling. Bow forward. Flat back. Chair pose. Bow forward. Flat back. High plank. Knees up or down. Low plank. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Bring your right foot forward for warrior one. Front foot is on 12 o'clock. Leg is aiming a 90-degree angle. Back foot is pressing with its outer edge against the mat. Bring your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. High plank. Breathe out. Low plank. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring your left foot forward for warrior one. Breathe in as you lift up. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Walk to the front of your mat. Halfway up or flat back. Bow forward. Chair pose. Bow forward. Flat back. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Bring your right foot forward for warrior one. High plank, low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. High plank, low plank, upward facing dog. Press the tops of your feet against the mat. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. It's getting hot in here, and we don't even have the heat on. It feels great. Bring your feet together at the back of your mat. Lift your right foot up to the ceiling, or you may be outside, so up to the sky. Bend your upper knee. Stack your hips. Flex your lifted foot. Open up. Like a big side yawn towards the right. Square your hips. Bring your lifted foot back to the mat. Side plank on the right. So let's do our side plank today with our knees down. So your right knee is down. Open your left. Open to the left side. And if you feel steady now, let's take our left leg up. Flex your lifted foot and pulse up, little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come to your tabletop. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Bring your feet together at the back of your mat. Lift your left foot up to the ceiling. Bend your upper knee and open it up. Stack your hips. Take your lifted leg to the right. Flex your lifted foot. Big yawn. Good morning, everyone. Square your hips. Come back to a table pose. Side plank with knee down. Left knee down. If you feel steady here, lift your right leg up. Keep that right foot flexed and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to a tabletop position. Downward facing dog. At any point in the practice, you can come back to child's pose. Take a sip of water. Take a little break. Take care of your bodies. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Bring your right foot forward for Crescent Lunge. So in Crescent Lunge, we bring our right leg to a 90-degree angle. Right foot is on 12 o'clock. Back heel is lifted. You can keep your back leg your back knee lifted, or you can bring that back knee down. I'm going to bring it down. Deba keeps it up. Bring your arms up to the ceiling. Bring your hands to heart center, twisting crescent lunge. Twist it over to the right. So hook your left elbow to your right knee and twist with your upper body. You can open your arms if that's available to you, if that feels good. One more big breath in. You can try bringing your gaze up to the upper lifted thumb. If you have your knee down, bring it up slowly. Swivel your back foot for warrior two. So you can take a look at your feet if you need a shorter stance for your warrior two to feel comfortable. Stretch your arms in opposite directions. Extended side angle. Bring your right forearm to your right thigh. Left arm lifts your upper body. You can take that arm above your head for that extended position. So you're extending from your toe on your left foot to your pinky finger on your left arm. One more big breath in. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Bring your left foot forward. Crescent lunge on the left. So foundation, find some steadiness. That steadiness may come by bringing your right knee to the mat. Bring your arms up to the ceiling. Bring your hands to heart center. Twist it over to the left. Breathe in. Breathe out. Open your arms if that feels good in your body. If your knee is down on the mat, carefully lifted and swivel your back foot for warrior two. Thank you, Deva, for turning around. So take a look at your feet in warrior two. Ground your feet on the mat. Lift your toes for a moment. Spread them and then bring them back to the mat. That creates some awareness on the quadriceps and these big muscles in our legs. Extended side angle. Bring your left forearm to your left thigh. Right arm extends up to the ceiling and then over your head. So you're extending from your toe on your right toe to your pinky finger on the right. So that lifted arm is lifting you up. One more breath in. High plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Walk to the front of your mat. Flat back, bow forward. Chair pose. Twist it to the right. This is our twisting chair. Take a look at your knees. And try to keep those shins parallel to one another. You can lift your toes for a moment. Spread your toes and then bring them back to the mat. You can open your arms if that feels good in your body. One more big breath in. Bring your hands back to your heart center. bow forward. Bring your fingertips to the mat, and now your feet hip-width distance. With your peace fingers, grab your toes, your big toes, and so that your hands, that your palms are facing one another. So your elbows are going to the sides, flat back, bow forward. Keep a little bend in your knees, and your gaze, search for a spot behind you, preferably something that is not moving. And then your gaze slowly, if that feels good, bring it to your belly. Press with your toes against your peace fingers, and then do the opposite. Take your peace fingers up and press against your toes. Let go of your toes. Hands back on the mat. Bring your feet together. Sweep up. Come back to chair pose. Let's twist it over to the left. Bring your hips a little lower. Shins aiming to be parallel, so take a look at your shins. If this is available to you and feels comfortable, open your arms. Take your gaze to your upper thumb. One more big breath in. Bow forward. Gorilla. Bring your feet hip-width distance and slide your palms underneath your feet. Flat back, bow forward. So keep that little bend in your knees. Your elbows are going towards the sides. See what happens when you put more weight on the balls of your feet. So the balls of the feet are pressing your palms. Your palms are doing the opposite, pressing up against your feet. And now shift that weight to the heels. Relax your face. Gaze towards your belly. One more big breath in. Bring your palms now to the mat. So take the palms off from your feet carefully. Bring your feet together. Sweep up. Bring your hands to heart center. Breathe in and breathe out. We can take a little break for a sip of water. I'm sweating. I don't know about you, Deba. Yeah. All right. And Deba's doing the hard work over here. She's following me, and we didn't really plan it, so she doesn't really know what I'm going to say. So, thank you. All right. Let's reconnect with our breath. Hands to heart center. Sweep your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring your hands to heart center. Eagle pose. Balance on your left leg and bring your right leg over, cross it over your left. If your toes hook around your calf, that's great. If not, that's great too. Right arm underneath your left. If you can touch your palms, that's great. If not, the variation could be to take a hug. Hug yourselves. So sit down a little lower. Pull everything into the center line. Squeeze those legs. Sweep up. Eagle on the left. So balance on your right leg. Bring your left leg over and cross it over your right. Your left arm underneath your right. Sit down. Keep your spine straight. Squeeze those legs. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. One more big breath in. Sweep up. Bring your hands to heart center. Standing leg raise. Balance on your left leg. Bring your right leg, your right knee, at about hip height. You can stay here. Bring your left hand on your hips and then your right hand on your leg. Or you can hook your big toe, as we did before, with your peace fingers and extend your leg in front of you, if that's available. Watch your right shoulder. If it goes too much towards the front, just bring it over to the back. Open up with extended leg or flexed leg. Take your gaze to the left. Come back to center. Keep your leg up. Bring your arms up to the ceiling. Flex your upper foot. Airplane. So we do a little bit of upward facing dog here. Our hips are square towards the mat. You can use your hands to check on those hips. Engage your arms. Bring your hands to heart center. Half moon. So you may have to get a block. Forgot to tell you to bring a block close to you so you can come back down for a block. Right hand on your block. Open up your hips. And you can take little pulses here as we did before with your lifted leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back down. Ragdoll. Let your head hang heavy. Bring your feet together. Sweep up. Breathe in. Hands to heart center. Standing leg raise on the left. So balance on your right leg. Bring your knee, your left knee to hip height. Stay here with your left arm on your left knee. Or take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toe, and extend. Open it up. Take your gaze to the left. Flex your upper foot. Come back to center. Keep that leg lifted. Take your arms up to the ceiling. Airplane. So if you're a little wobbly, that is part of the pose. If you fall off, come back up. Bring your hands to heart center. Half moon. Whichever side you didn't do before. So you can take little pulses with the lifted leg as Deba's doing. That's about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back down to your mat. Ragdoll. Let your head hang heavy. Bring your feet together. Sweep up. Bring your hands to heart center. Let's take a king dancer. So left arm extends up above you. With your right hand, you're going to take your ankle. I'm going to get closer to the camera here. So from the inside, you can take your ankle. The upper foot is flexed. Lift up. And now push your upper shin, your right shin, to the back of the room. That's where the main action comes. Then your upper body comes down towards the mat. Anchor your gaze to a point in front of you. Engage your left arm as if you were going to shake somebody's hand. Slowly bring your top foot to the mat. Switch sides. King dancer. Stretch up. Now push your left shin to the back of your space. Flex that lifted foot. Your right arm is reaching to the front. Your fingers spreading. Your fingers are like starfish. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly, with control, come back down to the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's do another set of dancer. How about that? Bring our left arm up to the ceiling. Right arm grabs our ankle from the inside. Bring your knees together to lift up. Push your right shin to the back. And here we go. Dancer. Slowly, with control, come back down to the mat and switch like a dance. Stretch it up. Kick your left shin to the back. Upper body comes towards the mat. Right hand with spread fingers engaged your arm. Gaze is steady. Upper foot flexed. One more, a big breath in. Bring your lifted leg up. Slowly, with control, come back down to the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's reset everything in tree pose. So balance on your left foot. And bring your right foot above or below the knee. I like to bring it above, so I need help from my hand. Deba has it below, so you have two variations here. It's whatever feels comfortable. And the action here is to push with your right foot against your leg, and your leg pushes against the foot. That creates some engagement of the legs, but also your core is engaged. Start with your hands at heart center, and once you feel steady, grow your tree. Bring your arms up to the ceiling. Shift your gaze. And play with your arms and your hands. You can stretch, interlace your hands and stretch it up. You can take, if you would like, a reverse namaste in the back. Sometimes it feels good on my body, like this way. Sometimes it doesn't. If you fall off, come back up to tree. Bring your hands to heart center. Slowly bring your upper foot to the mat. Shake it off. Tree on the left. Balance on your right leg. Bring your left foot above or below the knee. It is very important that you don't put that foot on your knee. And now create that stabilizing movement. The leg pushes against your foot and the foot against the leg. You can flex that upper foot to create that tension. Try to square your hips, engage your core. Start with your hands at heart center. And if you're steady, grow your tree and explore switching your gaze and playing with your hands and your arms. If you fall off, come back up. Bring your hands back to heart center. Bring your upper foot to the mat. Shake it off. Stretch your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Bow forward as you breathe out. Flat back. High plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Bring your right foot forward for warrior one. Open it up to warrior two. Triangle. Extend your right leg and bring your right hand outside your right shin. You can use a block to lift the floor, or with your fingertips, touch the mat and with your left arm, lift. Ground down your feet to the mat. Take your gaze to your upper thumb if that feels comfortable. If not, just do what is comfortable in your neck. Engage your quadriceps. Slowly stand up. Face the right, so your feet now are parallel to one another. Wide leg forward fold. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring your chest up to the ceiling. Breathe in. With a flat back, slowly come down. Keep a little bend in your knees. And here, you can bring your arms through your legs for a stretch. Or you can bring your hands and wrap them around your heels if that feels good to you. The crown of your head is aiming towards the mat. Keep a little bend on those knees. Engage your belly. Bring your hands to the mat right in front of you. Now to your hips. Slowly with the flat back, come back up. Face the front of the room. Bring your feet together at the top of the mat. Sweep up. Bow forward. Flat back. Bow forward. High plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Bring your left foot forward for warrior one. You know where we were going? Open it up to warrior two. Triangle. Extend the front leg. Take your left hand outside of your left shin. You can use a block or your fingertips on the mat. Your right arm is lifting up to the ceiling. Fingertips are spread apart and awake. Ground down your feet to the mat. Engage your quadriceps. And from your core, stand up. Feet are parallel to one another. We face the whatever other side it was. Breathe in with your hands and your hips. Take your chest up to the ceiling. Bow forward with a flat back. So feet are parallel or slightly pigeon-toed. Bring your hands to the mat and do the same exploration. Maybe you bring your hands through your legs to stretch the crown of the head towards the mat, or you wrap your palms around your heels. Keep a little bend in your knees. Create some space between your shoulders and your ears, and relax your face. Lots of things happening here. Slowly, with control, bring your hands in front of you, touching the mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Ground down your feet and slowly stand back up. Face the front. Feet together at the top of your mat. Breathe in, stretch your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe out, bow forward. Flat back. Bow forward. High plank. We're going to hold high plank here for just a moment. So you can do this with knees up or down. And slowly come down to the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your body sink on the mat. Let gravity do the work for you. One of your cheeks is on the mat. Relax your body. Take your other cheek on the mat. Locust. Clasp your hands behind you. If that feels good in your hands, you can use maybe a towel or a strap, if you have one, to facilitate that clasping. If that doesn't feel good in your shoulders, you can leave your arms by your sides, palms facing the mat. So in Locust, we start by pulling everything into the center line. Your arms, your legs, the engagement of the legs may be already lifting your knees from the mat, away from the mat. So push down to the mat to lift up. Upper body is up, legs are up. Keep pulling in. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more big breath in. Come back down to the mat. Bring your forehead to the mat. Bow pose. You can do one leg at a time or 2 legs at a time. Take your hands outside of your ankles or your shins. And here also we pull everything into the center line. Push your body down to the mat to lift up. This is bow. Flex your feet. There's a tendency of the legs to come apart. Bring them back together. One more big breath in. Come back down to the mat. Beautiful. Breathe in. And breathe out. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the mat and carefully come to your back for bridge pose. Take a little sip of water, take a break if you need to. All right. So in bridge pose, our feet are on 12 o'clock. With our fingers, we kind of lightly touch the back of our heels. And slowly lift your hips up and away from the mat. You can keep your arms as Deba has them on the back, or you can shimmy your shoulders underneath and clasp your hands if that is okay with your shoulders. Take one more breath in and slowly bring your hips down to the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's do another bridge. When you're ready, bring your hips up. Your quadriceps are engaged and doing really a big part of that lifting. One more big breath in and come back down to the mat. Bring the soles of your feet together. Keep laying down. I'm just sitting, but this is butterfly pose or Supta Baddha Konasana. You can bring one hand to your belly, the other one to your heart, and reconnect with your breath or just check it out. How are you feeling? Bring your knees together. And let's do some abs now. So keep your shoulders on the mat for now. Bring your legs up. Engage your legs. So one way to engage the legs here is to point your toes first and then curl your toes towards your face. We're going to lift our shoulders away from the mat, cradle our hands in the back of our head. So by lifting your shoulders, this is your new floor. You're going to pulse up, short pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going at your own pace. When you pulse up, try to exhale, and then the inhale comes naturally. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your shoulders back to the mat. Keep your legs lifted if you can, or bring them back up. Your arms are on your sides, or creating a little shelf in your back, whatever feels most comfortable to you. Re-engage those legs, point your toes, curl them, and slowly bring your legs down 30% towards the mat. Another 30% towards the mat. 2 inches away from the mat, lift your shoulders, take a look at your feet, say hello for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your legs back up. Make a V with your feet. Re-engage those legs. Bring them down 30% towards the mat. Another 30% towards the mat. About 2 inches hovering from the mat. Take a look at your feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring your legs back up, hug your knees. You can sway side to side. Let's do some bicycles. So let's bring our shins parallel to the mat, right? Knees bent, toes are flexed. Bring your hands to the back of your head. So your knees, your thighs do not move. That's the idea. Your thighs are going to be as stable as possible here, and you're going to bring your elbow, so right elbow to left knee, extend your right leg, and switch at your own pace. Keep those feet flexed. Keep those thighs in the same spot. So you're really reaching with your elbows to work those abs. Keep the shoulders lifted from the mat. 10 more. And after your 10, bring your shoulders back to the mat. Hug your knees. Take your knees over to the left. Gaze to the right. Bring your knees back to center. And take them over to the other side. Hug your knees. Bring your hands behind your shins and rock and roll a couple of times, front and back. Come back to downward facing dog. Half pigeon on the right. Bring your right leg up to the ceiling. Bring your right knee to your right wrist. Flex your front foot. The back foot, the top of the back foot is pressing towards the mat. Breathe in. And if this feels comfortable in your body, bow forward. Bring your forehead to the mat. Relax the upper body as your legs are still engaged. If this half pigeon is not something that feels good in your body, one of the variations is figure 4, while Deba continues in half pigeon. And if you're in half pigeon and it feels good to you, stay there. Figure 4 is the variation. We start seated with our knees bent, and we bring over the right foot, cross it over the left. That top foot is also engaged, flexed, as in half pigeon. And this is it. This is our figure 4. Use your palms in the back for support. If you want a little more intensity here, you can sit closer to the foot that's on the mat. If you're in half pigeon, come back to downward facing dog and switch legs. So half pigeon on the left. If by any chance you did the left, now you do it with the right. Deba's doing it with her left. I'm going to do figure 4 with my left leg. Flex that front foot if you're doing half pigeon, or that top foot if you're doing figure 4. If you're in half pigeon, come back to downward facing dog. If you're in figure 4, stay seated on your mat. And from downward facing dog, bring your knees back to the mat. Take a seated, comfortable position and lay on your backs. Take any last pose that you really want to get at this point. I like to do happy baby. But if there's anything else that you want to do right now, just do it for a few moments as we get ready for our final resting pose. So Deba's doing waterfall, which is a beautiful inversion to prepare us for our resting pose. You can take a supine twist. If you're taking happy baby, make sure that your lower back is on the mat. Bring the soles of your feet together. Take a big stretch. And come to a comfortable position. Resist the temptation to fidget as we come into Shavasana. Close your eyes. Let go of the control breath for the next few minutes of our class. Shavasana. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll over to the right or the left into a fetal position. And come to a seated position, comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. And we close our practice with a big Om. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in for Om. Thank you for joining us today. And together we say Namaste. Good job, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We meet daily at 9 a.m. through Mystic Fitness live streaming. Happy Father's Day. Take care. Thank you, Deba. Bye-bye.